Hello everyone and welcome back to SliverStar Arcade and more of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm so excited. I haven't been able to record in so long because I have an actual job now. Which sucks because that means I'm physically in pain at all times and can't record because I have to go to bed by 11, but I usually can't record until 1 in the morning, so... But we got lucky. I hope that doesn't get picked up on the mic. I've installed a cat door, because as you know, there are many times where I have to pause the recording to let the cats in and out. And other circumstances have now required that the door be kept closed more frequently, so we've installed a cat door, because cats live up here. But it sounds like someone's breaking into my room every time it's used, so hoping that doesn't get caught on the mic. And I hope that this audio is good. Anyways, in the last episode, we had an amazing trial. We got to London. Our client was pretty much guilty, but he got off scot-free thanks to essentially cheating. And there was a ton of terrible accents. And oh my god, I just realized I haven't uploaded any of those videos yet, so I don't know how you guys are going to react to those accents. Okay, I got it working again. I got the audio working again. Yeah. So we learned how the jury system works. But at the end of it, the main piece of evidence caught fire and someone was trapped inside. So now we go on to the adventure of the clouded Kokoro. Who cares? Let's get into it. Oh, I'm so excited. Episode 4. Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Go pause my mic.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholms, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Can I just say, I'm really liking those, like, you know, Wilson describes what we're about to do kind of things. 19th of February, 9:47 a.m., British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruto? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was bigger than day even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Buria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Aww. Ugh, I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. Ugh, London is a scary place. Oh, good morning to you at this early hour. Oh, yes, well... Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Susato-san is amazing. She didn't even bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Stornghart. Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening. Thank you. And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Stornghart, Mr. Naruto performed his duties to the end. Yes, I've already been appraised of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh! No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now. Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take a look at it once. I trust that won't be a problem. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGillard really was innocent. Mr. Naruto, it's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer. Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Stornghart? Magnus McGillard passed away immediately following the trial. So it was McGillard who was in that fire. Is the final trial going to be defending, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. It's Edgeworth's, ancestor. No! Oh, that did not come out right. Ugh. What? Mr. McGillard is dead? Oh, hey, pigeons. I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. This must be the Lord Chief Justice. Yes, we already went through all this. How do I... Which one was it? I can't remember how you skip. Anyways. Mr. McGillicud's death. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? 1 second. Alright. How can he be dead? Yeah. After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Which I still think was super cool. Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGillicud had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No. How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGillicud. That's awful. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. The bailiff really needs to pay more attention. Yeah, what about... Isn't the bailiff in the other games, like, real good? Like, he gets things immediately, he catches people who try to run away. Like, isn't the bailiff in the other Ace Attorney games, like, really good at his job? How could that have happened? That is also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGillicud did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Oh no. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? We're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I can't do his voice. I asked if I could be present for it myself. Inspection of the omnibus. Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then, who is Mr. McGillicud talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. Poor Mr. McGillicud. British court. So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was, wow. Mr. Naruto means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow, Susato-san has such a way with words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. What the fuck? She can read our minds, guys! Like, how are we on episode 4? Like, she looked directly at the camera and said that. I simultaneously dislike my family and love my family. So my sister came in, went to the kitchen, told her I was recording, so she proceeded to sing while making food. My parents come home, they want to watch the new Stranger Things season, which I know is a big deal right now. And you want what they do? They let me close the giant, well, they're not giant, they let me close, like, the doors to the living room, and they even turned the volume down because I told them I was recording, which is super nice of them. Anyways, back to Susato-san reading our mind. Like, wow, Susato has such a way with words. In blue, which means we said this in our mind. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. Like, what the? That's scary. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. The most advanced in the world, is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair. Simple? That was simple? As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. What are you talking about? There was... all pieces of evidence were against him. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Stornghart, but the case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny? No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent, wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I've prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What was he going to say before? The new case. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me. It's murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did you just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died, as yet. And the trial will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. Huh! So the trial's tomorrow then. Is everything alright? Oh, yes. I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruto. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGillet's trial. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity to yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh! If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. Yes, that's right. Here we go. Or here we go again. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until until the court sits. Blech. Last time he mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruto. There is something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday you remarked upon something. That you intended to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world works so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself, and there's another thing. Oh? Another thing? Continue. On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important that I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he ever made it to Great Britain. You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruto, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. That is not the voice. Ah, my throat's getting all caught up. I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to appease you of the details. How long has he been standing there? Does he have french fries? Or... So, I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell. There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. I hope I'm just imagining it. I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Ooh, I don't like this, but at the same time I do. It's quiet and you can just hear the gears. I actually rather like that. I feel like you could fall asleep to it. I'm actually going to make a save here. And this is going to sound really dumb. But, actually wait. Does it tell us which save is the newest? No, it doesn't, but you can tell. I want to make a save here. So I can have this run in the background as I try to sleep. Nah, that's stupid. Oh, hey, it gives you a little check mark once you've investigated something. Awesome. Could we trouble you? What do you think? Ah! Oh, I probably should have... We're gonna reload that save. Because I think we can converse with Susato-san first. Oh. No, we can't. We can only investigate. Oh well, I tried. It's wrapped up in a newspaper. What the? He reloads it. Like, look at that. It's got a reload animation. Yes, the pump action fry. What do you think? I don't know what voice to give him. Uh, lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippy about the weather doesn't get every English gen eating out of your hand, you know. But Susato told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregory anywhere, have you? Nah, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard, going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryonosuke Naruto, a defense lawyer. Yeah? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruto's judicial assistant, so... Yeah? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable! How'd you pull that off? So, Lord Stornghart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Oh, shoot. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Miss Susato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in The Adventures of Herlock Sholms. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Radsit magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholms enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholms? That's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of the bad lot of all Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit that, to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it's not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folks are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. Sure as eggs is eggs. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people. I like him. So, about the case that Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. I am going to give him that, like, 1920s news reporter feel. Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling that you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital, unconscious. That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was with a Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruto. Brace yourself, Inosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. We barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak von Zeeks. No. Sounds like you heard of him then. Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord von Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey. We beat his ass last time, though. Lord Barak von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGill had told us about him before the trial, didn't he? Oh. When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accursed his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned it because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruto secured a verdict of not guilty. Huh, and what of it? Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Ah. Oh. Well, I'm getting shivers. I had a sneaking suspicion that maybe he had something to do with the fire. But I never considered the possibility that... Like, I thought maybe, you know, he'd be like Edgeworth, you know, a little bit of nobility, like he was a bad guy, didn't let him get away, but like... What if he's more like Von Karma? Where, like, he will not accept anything but a guilty verdict. Whether it's in the courtroom or outside of it. That is a terrifying thought. Magnus McGillard came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? Right, Well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot. They're not called fries in Britain. They're called chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place? That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already? He's as good as, shaking like a leaf in his cell he is. He'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer, he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruto? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. I'm really starting to like her. But if the man they arrested is innocent, you could well imagine how he would be shaken like a leaf in his cell. I for one wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. I'm really not sure if I'm able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? I have the dumbest smile on my face right now. After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes, let's go. I always feel on edge here, but there are so many interesting books I wish I could borrow. We still haven't been here yet. I wonder what waits us. These prison cells. I feel like we should go here first. But I feel like this is a good stopping point because we're going to be getting into a lot of stuff. Also, I think it's perfect, you know, start off a new episode with like about 30 or 40 minutes, you know, get the fluff out of the way. And then I just realized this is going to be this is the 4th trial, which means it's the 2nd last trial. Or this is the 4th episode, which means it's the 2nd last episode. And it's going to be the first time in which we can move around, investigate a crime scene, and also actually go to court all in the same one. Like, think about it. Episode 1, just trial. Episode 2 was just walking around and investigating and doing that dance with Sherlock. Episode 3, once again, just a trial, but you could kind of investigate the crime scene, but that was more of like when you spin something around on the court records. This is going to be the first time we can actually like move, talk to people, investigate an actual like stationary crime scene, and go to court. And it's the 2nd last episode. And God knows how long it's going to take me to actually get around to playing the 2nd game in this trilogy. Or not trilogy, collection. Anyways, I think that I'm going to end it for now. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm super excited to get along with this. And as always, stay safe, have fun, and have a great day.